I'm happy to introduce members from I think we have 2 advanced clubs in the house. If there are any extras, please feel free to join. Actually, no, 3. We've got 3 advanced clubs because we've got Samuels as an advanced club. And what we're looking for is to really get a deep understanding of what advanced clubs are, for those who don't know, what they are, and what the qualifications are to join, what differentiates the different advanced clubs we've got, how do you form an advanced club, and so on. And also, this is your chance to pitch to join your advanced club. So there's multiple facets in which you can approach this topic. I'm going to start by we have Cornerstone in the house, we have Edinburgh Advanced Toastmasters. Sam, which one is it? The Oxford, which advanced club are you?
Well, I'm president of 2, so Pegasus
2.
Speakers Advanced and Oxford International.
Okay,
Advanced.
Brilliant. So we get 2 for the price of 1. So that's fantastic. So I'm going to start with David Phillips to kick off with Cornerstone first, and then we can go to Edinburgh Advanced, and we can come to you, Sam, and then I want to keep it fluid so we don't and then we can all ask questions of the different members. I nearly said panel, but it's not strictly speaking a panel. Yes, could you please put before your names your club, so people can identify where you're from and who to ask. So David, I'm going to ask you to kick off the conversation.
Thank you, Madam PQD, from Toastmasters and guests, if we have any, very welcome. I'm the president this year of Cornerstone Communicators. We're an advanced Toastmasters club. I would like to share my part of the presentation with my colleagues, fellow club members, John Alsop and Val Swanborough, and I see Steve is here and Sue is here as well. They may even be representing other clubs. We are so full of people with so much versatility and multitasking and multi-memberships. First question to be asked is, what is an advanced club? And I'm sure there can be as many different people, as many different answers as there are people in advanced clubs. For Cornerstone and for myself, I speak for the fact that we do things a little bit differently. We may not be looking at perfection. Some clubs may think, well, excellence and perfection is what we're looking for. We want everything to run smoothly and well-oiled and everybody to be professional. What I like at Cornerstones is the fact that we do so many different things. We have the advantages. We don't have to introduce the grammarian every week. We don't have to say what the timer does. People are already Toastmasters when they come and join an advanced club, and therefore they know what all the regular things do that happen. I was just going through our history over the last year or so and some of the things that we've done, and it's quite lovely looking back over it. As well as doing pathways speeches, we have people in to do workshops, we have experts in, and we give our members opportunities to advance themselves, develop themselves in a slightly different way, in a broader way than you would get in the regular club. So for example, last week, we had a workshop on interviews for the 21st century, where 3 members of Cornerstones with John Alsop went through what makes a good interview, what makes a good interviewee, what makes a good interviewer, and giving people a chance to develop. The previous meeting, we had held a session for Earth Day and sustainability led by Kavita Dulai, and having a keynote speaker and hearing lots of different things about sustainability. The previous meeting, we had a workshop on how to use your vocals to add emotion and connection in your speaking. The previous week, we had storytelling, how to tell a story. Another week, it was a totally improvised meeting. Basically, nobody knew until they actually arrived at the meeting what they were going to do. Some people were given us, you said, right, you've got 10 minutes to write a speech. Others said, it's table topics. Okay, you're going to be the table topics master for this question. You're going to be the table topics master for this question. And then at the end of it, somebody else was picked to be an evaluator. And at the end, then somebody else was going to be a general evaluator. And it seriously, that made everybody listen. So we're active listening. We did that. Another week, we did a murder mystery in which people were given parts beforehand and online, had to do questioning. If you've ever tried to murder somebody online, it's quite a feat. It's quite a feat, but we succeeded. We succeeded. Another one we had, seriously funny, how to use humor in a workshop. We had a meeting that was for book reviews. So people came along and their speeches were all about book reviews. Another one, we did an improvised meeting for Dragon's Den. Everybody was given a task to pitch an idea, and the Dragon's Den panel had to then say whether they would do it. And then we've had improvised in meetings which are totally all about improvisation, with games being played and improvised games, and maybe people doing things in duets or in 3 or 4 people making things up on the spot. And that's just a few of the things. I could read on the list, but I think time would not allow that. But that's for me what Cornerstones gives. I'd like to bring in John at the moment, John Alsop, if you'd be happy to just to say what it is about Cornerstone and being in a part of this advanced.
Thank you, David.
Like.
Good evening, everybody, and great to be here. So I've been a member of Toastmasters now for about 8 years, and the first 4 or 5 years I was a very active member in my home club. So I've done lots of speeches, been club officer, and all the things that as a Toastmaster is the fundamentals of Toastmastering. But the difference between a community club and an advanced club is what you get out of it, what you get out of it in terms of your own personal development. And I know that there's a number of different advanced clubs in the district, and they all offer something different. And the thing that inspires me most about being a member of an advanced club is the fact that you're working with people and the opportunity to challenge yourself further than you can in your normal Toastmaster environment. Whether that's in terms of your public speaking, being able to give keynote speeches, or running workshops, or just developing your leadership skills in general, that's what an advanced club brings to you. Now, focusing on Cornerstone, because that's my home club, what I enjoy most about Cornerstone is the fact that we offer a variety of different aspects of leadership and communication. So we take projects for our members that are designed to challenge them as individuals, whether that's in their organization, whether that's in their planning, or whether it's in their speaking, but within a context of a club of peers. So people that always bring something else to the table, and it's about mutual understanding and learning. So I believe that in any Toastmaster environment, you want to come away with a learning experience, but particularly in an advanced club, you want to contribute to everybody else's learning, and you only learn by working with other people, like-minded people. So in Cornerstone, what we try to encourage is for members to work together as groups and to deliver something for the club which is of value to the club members. So if the speech is being delivered by a member, it has to be of value to the other members. And if a workshop is being run by a member or an external workshop provider, it has to have real value. This does 2 things. It gives the individual the opportunity to practice those skills that maybe they don't do in their normal working life. And secondly, it allows members of the club to share their experiences. I was speaking to David earlier this week about some of the experiences at Cornerstone. And quite often, if we take the murder mystery event as an example, that was run by a number of members who came together and said, we want to do a murder mystery evening. So the members came together and they worked together to develop a theme and develop a story and then deliver a script which was worthwhile to the people, the audience, which, by the way, wasn't just Cornerstone members. The value for the individuals of that is that they're working with people that are of the same level, of peer level. So when you transfer those skills to work, what you find is by working with people as a group, with maybe with different ideas, different ways of working, you're working to a common goal, but you're not working in a hierarchical sense. And this is of great value to anybody that works in industry or in commerce or in any aspect, because quite often if you only work in a hierarchical situation, then what tends to happen is, you end up just following the leader, whether that's right or wrong. But by working together as peers in a Toastmaster group, and particularly in an advanced club, where members are all coming of the same experience or similar experience, and certainly similar skill sets, you develop the skills to work with people in a different way. And those are transferable skills. They're not just skills, they're not just a fun night. Those are skills that you're working to develop by working with people that may have different ideas, but not working in a hierarchical way where you can say, at work, I can just say, okay, I'm the boss, which is the way we're going to do it. In Toastmasters and in the club, I have to do things differently. And by creating those opportunities, you create the opportunities for the individuals to experience something that builds on their skills, exploits their experience, but also gives them a different context to take into their personal or professional life. So for me at Cornerstone, we have a lot of variety, but the variety is designed to challenge people in a different way and give people different experiences. It's the fun in the learning with the fellowship. And that's why I encourage everybody to think about advanced clubs. When you get to a certain level in Toastmasters, you find that, I certainly find, in my home club, I thoroughly enjoy my home club. I like mentoring individuals, I like supporting the club, I like giving feedback, I like doing speeches. What I don't get in my home club is the opportunity to work on projects with other people, or to be involved in supporting or mentoring people at a slightly different level in their Toastmaster journey. Whereas in the advanced club, I get all those opportunities. So they complement what I do in my community club, in my home club, and it complements it, but it gives me different skills, different experiences that I can take further. And I do believe that all advanced clubs do things slightly differently. So the focus might be slightly different, but the experience and the value is there. So I would encourage anybody to think about joining an advanced club, but look at the advanced club, because not all clubs are the same. They offer different things for different people for different reasons. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. I'd like to go over to Val, who is one of our founder members at Cornerstone, for a different perspective.
One of our members that hasn't learned to unmute. Thank you very much, David. I'd like to say to start with, yes, all advanced clubs are very different. I have visited more than once every single advanced club that's represented here tonight, and they are all very different. But I'm going to talk about Cornerstone because that's what I was asked to do tonight. And anybody who knows me knows my mantra for life is, let's have fun. I joined Toastmasters when I was getting on a bit. I didn't need to learn how to present workshops and speak at conferences because I was too old for that. I went because it was fun. And I found out that you don't just have fun. While you're having fun, you learn. I actually go to a club in America. It's not an advanced club, but their theory is come for the fun, stay for the learning. And I found that at Cornerstone, I learn as well as having fun. When we set up the club, our motto was not more of the same. So everything was different. We thought out of the box, and it's changed a lot since it started, but we still think out of the box, which is great. For example, on Monday, when we had the interview meeting, I thought, oh, is it worth me going? I had my last interview about 50 years ago. The last interview I conducted was over 20 years ago. What is the point? But I went, and it was a great meeting. And you don't just learn how to do an interview, you learn lots of other things. So yes, advanced clubs are great, especially clubs that think outside the box. And I'm sure all the advanced clubs here think out of the box. I won't say any more because it would make the evening go too long. So thank you.
Thanks very
Thank you
much
very
for
much.
Cornerstone contribution. Okay, we're going to move now. And can I ask you to save your questions until everyone's had a chance to speak? We're going to move across the country and go up to Scotland, where Moira from Edinburgh Advanced Toastmasters is going to give us perspective from that club. Moira.
Thank you. Thanks, Elizabeth. First of all, Emma, are we being timed?
We can be. We have our district timer with us who can time you for 5 to 7 minutes if you want to do that. If not, keep going. I'll keep an eye on the time as well. Do you want to do 5 to 7 minutes?
Please, yeah, I'd like
Yeah.
to be reminded.
Mr. Timer, Mr. District Timer, can you please time more 5 to 7 minutes, please?
Thanks.
Thank you.
So Edinburgh Advanced Toastmasters, generally known as EAT, although we have nothing to do with eating, although we like eating, we like cakes, but so we're not an eating club, we're a dinner club. We set it up in 2016, and it was the first and it's the only advanced club in Scotland in Division S. And the idea at that point was to give the members in Division S something else, something more advanced than their community club. Now we're online since COVID. We're online. We're not thinking of hybrid at the moment. It also gives us a chance to have members from other places, from England, from Canada, from the US, from anywhere, actually. So our membership is pretty multinational. We meet on the second Monday of the month, and we have a workshop given by outside Toastmasters every quarter. So that's 4 a year at the moment, although we're probably looking to increase that. We also do things differently, like Cornerstones. We don't have an accounter and we don't have a grammarian, as we think that by the time members have reached 8 speeches, for example, their ums and ahs should be fairly infrequent, and the grammarian, well, they should be using good language, rhetorical devices. The evaluator is always also expected to count the ums and ahs. If they're too distracting, we don't count the ones and the twos, but if they're too distracting, they will mention it. And also if a good language or vocabulary, they will mention that too. Our aim is to give as much actual speaking time to the members. So I know in a community club, it's good practice for beginning Toastmasters to introduce roles and have little 2-minute speeches. But when you get to an advanced club, we think that you ought to just speak as much as possible. So by paring down these roles, it means that we can give more time to speeches and evaluations. I think we have open speech evaluations. So if you give a speech at our club, you will get 10 minutes of evaluation. 3 is by the usual evaluator. 7 is open evaluation by the members. And this is facilitated by the evaluator, and he or she sums up at the end all the comments. And guests who have come to eat, that's the one thing that they always mention they enjoy is the open evaluation. And that's the memory really that they take away. So why are open evaluations so valuable? Well, it means that members receive a broader range of perspectives and feedback from members with different areas of expertise. The open evaluation also benefits the Toastmasters who are listening. You have to be awake at an EAT meeting. You can't be secretly scrolling your phone or your mind wandering. You have to really be on the ball. So members who are listening, who are not speaking, have a chance to practice their listening, active listening, and their critical thinking skills. we think that the open evaluation creates a more supportive environment. We're all invested in the speaker's speech and their growth. It also, we think, helps foster a sense of a shared community, as we're all responsible for each other and our progress. And it also breaks down that hierarchy of, you know, so they have a chance to comment on it as well. And members can also learn from other members' evaluations and see how they do it. We can have an open evaluation at the end of 4 minutes of the general evaluator, because when you think of it, in the community club, whoever evaluates the general evaluator? Nobody. So they don't know if they've done well or they could improve or not. So the whole evening is meant to be a vehicle where we support each other's growth. We also celebrate each other's successes. In club business, the president will say who has, you know, achieved an award this week or who's done something, and we all celebrate that. Our members come from diverse range of professions, and they come from all over the world now at the moment. We at EAT try and foster a very friendly atmosphere. It doesn't matter how many members we have there or guests. The meetings are always fun, and they're always, they never lag, put it that way. They're never boring. So why are advanced clubs important? I'll just say a couple of things. They provide a supportive and a challenging environment for Toastmasters. And sometimes in a club, if you remember the competent communicator manual, it was a thing in a club where the member would reach the speech number 8, and then I think the interest starts to go. And there were an awful lot of them who never went on to complete 10 speeches. So at EAT, we ask that you have completed 8 speeches or the equivalent in pathways, and that keeps the interest going. We used to ask that members belong to a community club as well, but now we don't. So you don't have to belong to any other club. You can just come straight to us. Advanced clubs often have higher expectations of their members. They challenge them more, so the members then know that they really have to put in an effort. And I can speak from experience here. There are times when I don't put in an effort, and I will admit it. But if I'm going to the advanced club, then I will put in more of an effort to prepare speeches. They also provide an opportunity, and this again was with the competent communicator manual, that these very long speeches, the ones that took an hour or 40 minutes, the advanced club, or certainly EAT, we allowed for that. So it was a place where they could practice them. And also non-pathways or non-manual speeches, if you're giving a presentation at work and you want some help with it, then you will get a chance to do that at our club. And also you will get the benefit of the help and support and the evaluation from all the members. So all in all, I would definitely advocate that people, if they've reached a certain level and they feel that either they're stagnating slightly in their own club, but they don't want to leave their own club, just to join an advanced club. It will challenge you. It will probably be a lot of fun, and it will make your growth go through the roof. I'm sure of it. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Let's show some appreciation for Maura. Excellent. Okay, we're going to move swiftly on to Sam Warner, who's not representing one, but two advanced clubs. And then after Sam's presentation, should I set 5 to 7 minutes? Do you want 5 to 7 minutes on the clock? Mr. District Timer, 5 to 7 minutes on the clock, please. And then we'll all get a chance to ask these burning questions that we all want to ask. Sam, over to you.
Thanks so much. I'll talk to you about Oxford International first, because that's the quickest to talk about. It's very stripped back. The reason for its existence is to provide a stepping stone from Toastmasters who are learning their craft to paid professional speakers. So if somebody has caught the bug, wants to get paid for speaking, they can come to our club. Doesn't matter if they're a member of another club or they just transfer, or even if they are not a Toastmaster at all and they're already keen, speaking somewhere, doing something, and want to become a professional speaker. We invite people in by interview, so we can tell their kind of level. And we have a training session every single time we have a meeting. We meet twice a month, and we take turns in taking on that training session. So it's a great growth for us, or we're sharing our existing knowledge, which is a really great way of trying out our material with our peers. We're international, we're online, no hybrid for us either. So we've got Canadians, Americans, Swedish, South Africans, all sorts of people, which is absolutely fantastic. And we usually go about 90 minutes, which works well. What else can I tell you about it? Oh, we do a thing called snap evaluation. So when we do table topics, we don't have a topic evaluator doing the whole lot. We ask someone to do a topic, and then immediately we ask somebody to come and do a 1-minute evaluation of that one topic. Then we come back and do another topic, and then straight in for a second evaluator for that topic. It really keeps everyone on their toes. There's nobody sitting back going, oh, I'm not going to do a table topic because I did a speech today. Oh, you're probably going to get picked. So it really livens up the end of the meeting, which can be a bit, report, and it just sort of goes a bit flat at the end. Not in our club. We don't have a general evaluator either. And we treat the role of Toastmaster more like an MC role. So you can really go for it. You're really practicing your skills as the MC of the evening. You're encouraged to try and pull things in from the theme and make your job as MC really interesting for people. So it's not just, wading through the agenda. Yeah, so that's what it is. It's pre-charter still at the moment. We've got 21 people-ish that are coming fairly regularly. We're going to wait till we get 25 before we charter, so we can just go bang with a healthy club. There's no rush. We've got no venue to pay for. So that's that. Oh, and they meet on the 2nd and 4th Thursday every month. So moving on to Pegasus. Pegasus has been around a bit longer, fully chartered, 33 members at the moment. At one point had 68 through COVID, which is insane. And their raison d'etre is to be the sort of gold standard for online presentation. They're not trying to teach you how to do stuff to go and take it on stage. They want people to be the best they can be in this little box. And we throw in lots of extras. So we have extra contests. We do keynote contest, after dinner speech contest, Pecha Kucha, TEDx. We do poetry, hot air balloon challenge, interviews, panels, all sorts of stuff like that. We encourage the longer speeches where we can. So that panel session is about 40 minutes long. Again, they have a beefed up MC role in that group, and they don't do a general evaluation at Pegasus either. We've done a couple of reverse meetings, which were quite funny. We also treat mentoring in a slightly different way in Pegasus. Because there's sort of like this core of people who are already professional speakers, and there's a lot of people who are sort of still developing, but they've stepped into the advanced space. So they feel like they still have a lot to learn to get to where they want to be. So we do group mentoring, so it's not a big burden on the people who are like the experts in the group. And that's worked out really well. It's a really good use of time. So the groups are for different subjects. So one of our groups covers show reels, and we're going to be delivering some content on stage. It's going to be filmed professionally to provide content for our show reels. There's 10 of us doing that in June. And then in the other group, we were doing podcasting, productizing, and something else that's escaped my mind right now. But yeah, really interesting stuff that helps people, especially because we do attract entrepreneurs who are trying to run a business. And what else have I got on my list here? So again, interview to join for Pegasus. One of our key selling points is that we have an external masterclass, one every month. And we're lucky that we because we've got such a big network, you know, we can bring in like the Craig Valentines and Mohammed Katanis and people from the Professional Speaking Association, where I'm a member. I can bring in other people from that side as well to bring in really good quality content. What else? Oh, we also do boot camps. So, for example, we did a table topic boot camp, which was outside of meetings. And we would meet every Monday for 2 hours for 5 weeks, so 10 hours of training. And then between those 10 hours of training across those 5 weeks, every single day, we set each other on a rota, a table topic, and we had to turn on WhatsApp and do it as soon as we saw the question, bang, we had to video our response straight onto WhatsApp for 2 minutes. And then we would all give feedback for that topic. And we did that every day for 5 weeks. After that, I think there's about 15 people who were on that course. 10 of them went in for their contests and 9 of them won and kept winning through the different levels. So that made a huge positive impact, doing that kind of concentrated training on something they wanted to work on, something they wanted to conquer. Yes, it takes a lot of time and energy to do the extra stuff, absolutely. And Pegasus is an all bells, all whistles kind of club. And the club does need to evolve. It's very important, as I think it was Moira was talking about. The club has to evolve. Was it either Moira or Val said that the club has to evolve because it can't just stay the way it was when it was built, and that's so true, I think, of all clubs. And so Pegasus is starting to pare things back a bit because life has changed. And even though we used to do 2 big live events, we're probably only going to do 1 going forward. We might drop some of our extra contests. Because you know what it's like, you know, when you go, anyone want to be contest chair? And it's like, no, nothing. We get that too, you know, happens in our club as well. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff we do. And if you're interested, come along. There you go.
Thanks very much, Sam. Applause for Sam. And now this is a bit you've all been waiting for, because those of you who've been listening nice and intently have got a chance to ask questions of the members of Cornerstone, EAT, and Pegasus and Oxford International. What I suggest we do is we put up our digital hand, we raise our digital hands, and I will then call on you, and you can decide who you want to answer the question to. So who wants to go first? Who's got a question? Toastmaster Paul.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. I'm wondering if how each of the advanced clubs regard the Distinguished Club program, and to what extent do they have achieving President's Distinguished as a goal for this current year?
I can kick that off if you like. So for the advanced clubs, it's a nice to have. It's not our driving force. Our driving force is to try and retain advanced speakers that would otherwise leave Toastmasters. Like when people get their DTM, what do they do next? So that's our main goal, to serve the members. If the DCP points come along for the ride, great, but that's not our focus.
I go then. Yes, it's not our main focus. It's something it is nice to have. And for the last 3 months, I think, of this year, we are picking up the pace, because we discovered that we could, with just a little bit of application, get at least about another 4 points before the end of June. So that's turning from the nice to have. Yes, we are going to do that.
I've got a slightly different perspective on it, if I may.
You
I
may.
think that the DCP points, of all the DCP points, the educational ones are for advanced clubs. I would say the educational ones are probably the most difficult, because members are members of other clubs, and they've got a lot, they want to ensure their home clubs do well, and sometimes it's more senior members in them clubs that, but by definition, are maybe members of advanced clubs. Nevertheless, I firmly believe that every advanced club should aim to achieve at least the administration and the goals outside education. So if you can get the high level DCP points to get recognition, that's great. But as a minimum, any Toastmaster club should be aiming for attendance at training, administration, and growth, irrespective of whether they believe DCP points are important or not. That's my
Moira,
view.
do you have a view on this? Moira, do you have a view on this from?
Well, I agree with John. We should still concentrate on the admin and the training and all that sort of thing. Like the other clubs, we don't put a lot of emphasis on the members giving us their educational awards. So
can I just add one comment? I'm a member of 3 advanced clubs.
to speak.
May I?
Very quickly, Paul.
Pardon?
I said very quickly.
Oh, yes, I'm a member of 3 advanced clubs, each of which achieved President's Distinguished last year. One of which, Toastmasters for Golf, there were actually 4 people here from that club a few minutes ago, and it meets once a month, and that club was President's Distinguished last year and will be President's Distinguished again this year. So I just say that just in case many of you who are not members of advanced clubs would realize that you can join an advanced club which is committed to achieving the Distinguished Club program.
Thank you. I'm going to add, as the program quality director, that the DCP, to me, it's a measure of excellence in the club. And I do believe that although advanced clubs have got this different agenda, I think excellence should be on the menu. And I think if you can get 3 points, you can achieve 3 goals, I think another 2 in education should be possible to make you a distinguished club. So I think that discussion is worth having. It's one I'd love to have with you, because, first of all, we want to be a distinguished district. We need as many distinguished clubs as possible. And I think if you want to sell all the things that you do, plus I think excellence should be part of that as measured by DCP. However, it's just a thought. Who else has got a question for our panel? Who else would like to ask a question?
I think Matty has his hands up.
I think he's there to keep himself in the top left-hand corner, I think.
Well, actually, Elizabeth, I did have a small question.
Well, apologies, no, apologies, Matty. Sincere apologies. Please ask your question.
No problem. If there is a member in a club that is not advanced and then wishes to become a member of an advanced club, in order to join the advanced club, does that member have to have a certain level of qualification?
Who would like to take that? Because I think you all do different things, interviews, qualifications. Who would like to take that first?
I'll go first on this one, and
Okay,
people can contradict me. Yes, so I think for any Toastmaster club, we should have a foundation of Toastmaster knowledge and experience. So whether you're an advanced club or a community club, you should be aiming to give every member the opportunity to understand and know about Toastmasters. I'm a firm believer that to be a member of Cornerstone, for example, you have to either have been a member for a long time, and we've got some members that left Toastmasters and have come back, and they find the advanced club environment better for them. And we also encourage members that are not only achieved certain educational goals, or so like level 2, I think, but also either or members that have taken leadership roles in clubs. So we like to make sure that as an advanced club, we're encouraging members to be Toastmasters, and the experience of our advanced club enhances their Toastmaster experience rather than is their sole Toastmaster experience. Because we as a club, we can't offer the full Toastmaster experience because we don't have opportunities for icebreaker speeches, we don't have opportunities for grammarian, we don't do the RM counter. So I think for me, it's important that Toastmasters have that experience. If they've left and come back, that's fine. Or they've left their home club because they haven't got time commitment to give to, that's fine as well. But I would always encourage people to be a member of 2 clubs where at all possible. That's my view anyway. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, John. I want to go to Justin, who's got your hands raised. Justin.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Apologies for being late. The only reason I joined, if I can just, was I wanted to understand what is the differentiation between an advanced club and a normal Toastmasters club. Okay, apologies if this has already been discussed, but would like to understand what is the what is it, the unique selling proposition.
They've all got, you missed this, we did discuss it. I want to ask Moira to go first very briefly, then Sam, and then John, just to give Justin, just distill what you said for Justin. So Moira.
So an advanced club, according to Toastmasters International, is a different breed of club from a community club. But they allow us to set our own criteria for members. At 8, we ask that you have delivered 8 speeches, whether that's pathways or in the competent communicator manual or both. And that's it, really. That's all that we ask of you. And that's an advanced club. There are other criteria. We, as I said, used to ask that members were members of other clubs too, but we don't have that anymore. So you can just come along, or a Toastmaster that perhaps has lapsed, hasn't been there for a while, they can rejoin Toastmasters and come straight into our club. I know perhaps some of the other advanced clubs are different.
Sam?
So Justin, the difference between our advanced clubs and community clubs is we don't have any nervous novice speakers. We have people who are itching to take a role, itching to take a speech slot, want to advance, they're more ambitious, they want to do extra training, whereas some of the community clubs might have more, like my Shropshire Speakers, we've got 25 members, 20 of those people are quaking in their boots when we ask them to do a table topic. That's the opposite of what's happening in the advanced club, where they're going, ooh, pick me. In fact, I want to be table topics master because I want to screw you over with really hard table topics. We're at that kind of playful level with language. So that's the big difference for us.
Okay. Could I just ask one quick question? Is there an opportunity within the advanced clubs to do some of the more complex, deeper dive workshops?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know, like the workshops are a focal point for these advanced clubs, you know, in terms of
Very much so. We have time because we strip back our roles. Most of us have changed the way that the framework takes place in each meeting. So we've dropped some of the roles like grammarian, our counter, general evaluator, and we've allowed space for the longer sessions, the workshops, the different things, the masterclasses, and that's definitely what sort of elevates it.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you for your time.
David, do you want to say a quick word? Sorry, David, you haven't spoken for a while. Do you want to say a quick word?
Yes, it was. But Sam said pretty much what I was going to say about the having the extra workshops and devoting the time to bring people in or to develop our members' skills and developing workshops, whether it's relevant to them in business whether it's something fun, something that challenges your brain, and you take that time, and the basic assumption is that everybody knows what the basic roles are. And just one slight difference with Sam said we don't have nervous novices. She said we have confident, experienced speakers. We don't have nervous novices. We do have some nervous, experienced speakers who are still becoming confident. John.
Elizabeth, can I just add something that
You can.
to answer Justin's question directly? So, Justin, the advanced clubs have slightly different focus. We've already discussed, you missed it unfortunately, but we discussed the ethos of some of the advanced clubs in District 71. I would suggest that anybody who's considering joining an advanced club takes the opportunity to visit an advanced club, look at what that advanced club is offering, whether it's growth in public speaking, the opportunity to train in certain aspects of communication or leadership, or whether it's a general aspect. Look at the club and see what you want from it, and make a decision on that. Because what I've learned tonight is that each advanced club operates slightly differently, with slightly different focus and slightly different ambitions to grow their individual members' experience, skills and knowledge, but focus for the individuals rather than general, learn how to speak well at a Toastmaster club.
Thank you, John. Larry, you have a question.
Thank you, Elizabeth, Madam PQD. Yes, it's more a comment really in relation to, I picked up a good few tips actually tonight from the various advanced clubs, being a member of one myself, Toastmasters for Golf. And what I find based on my experience over the last year being involved in the advanced club is it's quick paced, an hour and a half, bang, bang, bang. And I think at one stage we tried one person evaluating 3 speeches. And that was putting the person under considerable pressure. The club contests are of a higher quality because you're competing against quite experienced speakers. So there's a good standard of winner coming out. And I suppose Toastmasters for Golf, we have also got the social side of our golf tournaments, where we meet 3 to 4 times a year. And when we're in the local clubhouse, then you have to stand up and give your winning speech or runner-up speech in front of not only your own peers, but people within the golf community as well that would be attending the golf club. So that's the social aspect of it as well, which I like as well. But yeah, I picked up some great tips. Thanks very much to the speakers here tonight. By the way, I'm available to any of the advanced clubs as parliamentarian to give a session on parliamentary procedure. If you would like me to do that at any time, I'm open to giving a 10 or 15-minute presentation.
And I would highly recommend, having completed Larry's course recently on parliamentary procedures and so on. I know Julia did it, TJ did it, I did it. I would highly recommend it. When he runs the third course, I would suggest that you get yourself in there and get a lot to learn. And it's great fun. I think you'll enjoy it as well. Okay, I think we've got time for another couple of questions. Who hasn't yet asked the question they're dying to ask? Maybe one question I can ask all of you is, how do you go about setting up an advanced club? Because this is actually a question that came in from someone to be asked. How do you go about setting this club up, an advanced club?
Well, setting it up is just much like any club in terms of the application to organise and all that sort of stuff. But actually, I just started small. I mean, I was in two other clubs as well, plus running a business. I wasn't really in a big hurry. So I started small, just me and Tim Patmore, and we just kind of got the word out there that we were starting this new club and what its purpose was. And it's the fact that we niched that has attracted people to come, and they've come and enjoyed it and stayed and come back. So that's how we've got the club going. I don't know how Pegasus was born, so I can't answer that fully, but I know that Carla was a very key player in phoning people up and doing the Dhananjaya Hetarachi. I see something in you. You need to come to Pegasus. So that's how we ended up at 68 people, I think.
And that's a record in the district. Okay. Val, you were part of the founding members of Cornerstone. How I'm not thinking about just how you said it technically, because you know how to do that. But how do you get as you said, the word out about your particular niche and get people to unite around that idea? How did you go about that at Cornerstone?
I think Cornerstone, it started up with a group of people in our district or our area really, that were interested in doing something that was out of the box, that wasn't just the normal Toastmaster procedures. And we wanted to do different evenings where you had to extemporize, use your brains and advance yourself. And we just got together and we just passed the word around the clubs. And from the clubs, people knew other people and told them. Steve might know because Steve was a member and Jenny was a member too at the very beginning. So Steve Campion and Jenny Chalmers.
Yeah, Jenny, do you want to add anything to that? Jenny, you're Steve. Do you want to add anything to how you got the word out and got Cornerstone going? Is that a yes from Steve or Jenny? I'll take it that's a no. I'll move on to Moira. How did you get the word out about EAT and how did you get that going?
Well, as I said, we were mainly aiming at Division S. So we advertised ourselves within Division S. We also have we had at the time a Division S website, a Facebook page and all the rest of it, which I was responsible for. So I was definitely plugging it on there. And now we are, as I said, international, we're online and we have international members. So whenever we have a workshop or we want to advertise something, then we just ask those members to disseminate the information to their clubs. And some of our members are members of 5 or 6 clubs. So that's really the way that we do it.
Okay. Nola, you have your hands up. What would you like to ask?
I think I've sort of forgotten. Oh, it's this. Are all advanced clubs online?
I think the majority are, certainly Cornerstone, Pegasus, and Edinburgh are, yeah. I think Toastmasters for Golf, are you online? Or are you on the golf course?
I think Excalibur in London's also online. As far as I know, they all are.
Yeah, I think Molly Malone's in Dublin is also online. I'm just wondering, because I suppose if you're trying to cater, like some of you said, for a whole area or a whole division, well, then you're going to be online.
Area, really.
Yeah.
And I think previously advanced clubs used to be more geographically located, but now they're more, I would say advanced clubs are more advanced now because they're more focused on members with specific needs and wants.
So that does mean you have to.
So there's not, I would suggest there's not a challenge between advanced clubs for membership. It's the member that suits the club best. Or which club suits the member best.
I don't feel like I'm in competition with other clubs.
Yeah. So being online is better. You've more members have got access to the club, and the club is able to get a wider membership base.
Okay.
And being online allows for greater diversity because we've met people from all different cultures, backgrounds, ages, everything, which we just wouldn't have done if we'd have just stayed in the UK as much.
And my other question, or my other point, and I put it in the chat, but I'll say it out loud, is there an argument to be put forward to Toastmasters International for advanced clubs to have a different distinguished program, given that a lot of members are dual members and their points are, they're more interested in getting points for their club, their community club, than possibly their advanced around education. So maybe there should be other incentives or other goals maybe for advanced clubs above that? Just a question.
Good point. Useful, insightful question. Thank you for that. We're hastening towards the end. I want to ask Julia first, and then David, you can close the whole thing because this is your idea. So, Julia, very quickly, if you want to ask a question.
Yes, it's just a very quick question. It's probably really for Moira. Can I come along and just try the meeting 3 times like I can at a community club? Is that still the same sort of rule?
Well, it's an unofficial rule in Toastmasters, but we love having guests. You can come as many times as you like.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Yeah. Okay, David, final word to you.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, we set this up, and I'm very pleased we have, because it's really generated a lot of interest. If you would like to continue this discussion and take it further, our next meeting is Monday, the 15th of May, and it is about advantages of being part of an advanced club. So I would welcome you all, welcome your members to come along and find out what it's like about being an advanced club. And you have an opportunity again to discuss it. And I'd really be interested in finding out more about the different advanced clubs that are around. Does anybody know how many advanced clubs there are in District 71? Or I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know offhand, but I can find out for you very easily.
Yeah. And also, I don't know what, because there's so many clubs are online. Is that, do they have to be and we have people in Ireland and Scotland and south of and in Kent. Do they have to be aligned to a physical district?
What, the advanced clubs?
Yes.
Yes, they are aligned to specific districts, but they can have members from anywhere. So, for example, EAT is aligned to the obviously Division S, District 71. Okay, I'm conscious this is an excellent start. I think there's a need for part 2 because it's so created so much energy and enthusiasm.